Good morning. We're here again. It's a lovely wet day, but that's all right because we're going to steam clean this off now. Let's have a walk over. Right, so I'm going to be taking the gearbox out. So this is main aim really, is just wash all the stuff off the back of the Unimog. As you can see, there's mud and dirt everywhere. And you just want to get the gearbox all nice and clean so we can take it out. I will take all these panels out through the centre here so I can get all the way through and open the bonnet. But we had a good job when we were here the other day with Alfie and cleaned it right up. I've also altered the back, so the bits I cut off the front are now welded on here, and I took a wedge out of there so that it all lines up and it can now sit on the chassis. And I am making these brackets at the moment, so I'll just stick this on time lapse and you can see me wash it off. So it's a couple of days later after the washing down of the Unimog. I have actually removed the body off it and the cab's gone off it, so I'll turn around and the gearbox is out. So I'll spin around and show you what's happened. So I'll start at the back. So this cross member, which is there, has been removed because it was up here and I want to move it further back, and I want to put some bracing back on it that was missing. So that's the first job, so I'll be taking that home. So while I'm up here actually, there's the fuse box I've took out from the Unimog and I have washed it all off and it's all nice and clean now. But as you can see, this is why I took it out, because there is so many wires. Well, I think pretty much every wire has been chewed. So there's the original radiator, so that while I was washing everything down I cleaned that off. Washed the seats down and they've come up really nice. Here's the original wheels off it, palleted up, and I don't quite know what I'm doing with them yet, so they're just stored out of the way. So as you can see, we've got some straps around the axles to pull them back, and there's the coupling and there's the front coupling. So they weren't as bad to get off as I thought. I've never took a gearbox out of one of these or disconnected the axles, so it was just a case of ratchet strapping the axles to pull them back to let you get access to do the bolts in here and move the lock tabs off, so that wasn't too bad. And then it was just the 3 bolts on the back there. This one I haven't got the bell housing on because that was took off a long time ago. And then we just lifted it out with the forklift. And I might be able to clean this up now because there was a block of wood around that for a long time holding the gearbox in. So I just checked to see if there was any oil in there, and yes, I was rewarded with the oil all coming out of it when I undid it. So everything now is nice and cleaned off. I've just took the front wheel off because I noticed there was a bit of play. Don't know whether you can see that, but there is quite a lot of play in that, and also there's a bit of movement in this one, which I thought was bearings, but I think it's the top bush. You can actually, I don't know whether you can see, but the top shaft is moving quite a lot. Everything else seems quite nice, so hopefully I'll just get away with rebuilding those, but who knows until you delve in and find these things. And then here's the gearbox on the floor. I've took the top off purely because I've got to get it in the boot of the car to take back to the workshop. But everything in there looks nice and clean. Everything spins nicely. It does go through the gears. There's the top cover. So yeah, everything goes through the gears nicely. It's about time I got on with the Unimog. We've got a good day today. It's about the middle of September, so we've got some nice sunshine. So I need to get on with this. I'm gonna have it shot blasted. That's where we've got to so far. So I'm gonna have to take all these wings off. Windscreen, doors, bonnet, the axles will have to come off. Get the chassis on some frames so that the shot blaster can go around it and do a good job. and then I can red oxide it, because I'm aware the weather's not going to last and I'm going to be up against it. So that's this week's job, so let's get on with it. Today we're at the farm. As you can see, I've been here and I've removed pretty much everything off the cab now. So all the lights are gone, the badges, all the dials, all the switches, doors, window hinges, everything I need to strip off the cab ready for it to go to shot blast. I am going to cut the rusty parts off the back of the chassis with the grinder before it gets shot blasted, so they can clean all the frame up inside, so I can make the remake all the metal to get back on it, and then I can hopefully undercoat it. I've got to get the wings off. I've tried getting them off while it was in situ, but I couldn't because I couldn't undo the bolts. So today we're going to lift the cab off with the JCB low door behind me. We're going to take the pallet of tyres off the back. We're going to lift the back off. We're going to split that. I've got currently 2 pallets sat here with bits and pieces off the Unimog, so we're going to get it to a bare chassis. I'm going to try and undo these nuts, well, these bolts in the centres of the hubs while it's got the wheels on, so it's got something to basically lever against. So that's one job I want to do, is get all those bolts undone. I'm going to get the axles off once I've done that, and all the boxes and fuel tanks and anything else that's loose, so this chassis can be ready to shot blast basically. So I'll do some time lapse and I'll do some normal video, so let's get into it. I am on my own today, so this could be interesting, getting this cab off on my own. It should be fairly straightforward, it's fairly light, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Gracefully does it. So a little bit's changed since yesterday, because we are the next day, because I needed to go home because I was tired. So I've stripped a lot of stuff off and it's now all loaded on a trailer ready for shot blasting, which is next week. The last job we've got to do is strip the axles off. I've undone all the bolts, so everything's loose now, so we can get a forklift in a minute and unload everything. One of the jobs I've done also while I'm here, I've got an odd wheel on this Unimog, which I've finally this morning managed to get a proper wheel. So that's one of the original spares that I've stripped the tyre off. I've just got the tyre to break the bead on this and then take the tyre off, so I thought I'd do that on camera because I haven't done a lot on camera for the last couple of days. So. Right, so we're going to take this tyre off. It's something I've been doing for a long time. As you can see, this is what I use. They're just pieces of angle iron, and I've took a few tyres off, hence the reason they're all beaten. So I just put them in at the edge of the bead, and I do sort of support them with my foot because otherwise...
Zoom in.
No, I'll do that on the camera.
Oh, alright, calm down. Okay.
So as I was saying, I support them on the edge of the bead with my foot and then just tap them in. So like that. And that. And then move your foot out of the way. And that's how you break the bead on a big tyre. There you go, it's as easy as that. There we go, we got the axles off, so we're going to now pick them up, move them into place. I'm going to try and get the springs off the axles, that's probably the only other job I need to do. And then we're done here for today until the shop blaster comes and there's the chassis and a few other bits.